Thanks everybody for coming. We're going to call our meeting to order at 6:33 p.m. And we'll begin with the invocation and the pledge. Heavenly Father, we gather here today as members of this City Council, seeking your guidance and wisdom. As we discuss the matters that affect our community, may our hearts be filled with compassion and our minds with clarity. Help us make decisions that reflect the best interests of our citizens and promote unity and progress in our city. We also pray for our first responders and military members at home and abroad. May they feel our respect and appreciation as they protect and serve us all. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3 is public comments. Do we have any today? None today. So we're going to move on to item 5A. We're going to take out of order. We have Sonia Boydston, President of the local chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution, who's going to talk to us for a few minutes, and we'll have a proclamation after.
Okay. Sure, I'll stand up. Yeah, you can stand up. This is Susan Falk, who arranged it, and Debbie Coker, she's our registrar.
I need to come up here.
And so if you don't know, DAR is Daughters of the American Revolution, and to join, you have to have an ancestor that either fought in the American Revolution or donated supplies or money. And if you know anyone that's interested in joining, we will help the genealogy. Texas has a great assistance team, and then they both do a lot of that. And then, of course, we're a nonprofit, non-political women's service organization, and our missions are historic preservation, education, and patriotism. And so we appreciate you being here. There's a few flyers up front. We're actually having a social for prospective members on this Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. Come and go or whatever, Pier 36. So feel free to stop on by. There's going to be some good food, and we'll buy you a glass of wine if you want. And anyway, so we really appreciate you guys doing this for us. And I just want to remind everyone that the reason we're doing this is that, Constitution Day, September 17th, tomorrow, commemorates the signing of the U.S. Constitution. And then the whole week, the 17th to the 23rd, encourages all Americans to study the Constitution and reflect upon the privileges of being an American citizen, which I think we need to do more of.
Yes.
So, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for being
I have
here.
a quick
We
question.
certainly appreciate it.
Yes?
Are you Texan or is this the United States?
Oh, no, DR is all across the United States.
Well, and we even have chapters overseas, so.
Yeah, we also do have
But they're
chapters
American,
overseas.
but-
Yeah.
Although Texas is such a big state, we have more members than anyone else. So,
Miss Sonia, did you say there's an H?
you have to be 18 years or older to, but if you have someone younger, a younger boy or girl, there's Children of the American Revolution. They do things, and there's a Katie chapter.
So
So,
wonderful. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. I have constitutions for each of you.
So I have several of those that came from Turning Point. Turning Point put out a bunch of those. I'll take it anyway because I'm passing them to my grandchildren. And we actually have a member of your DAR in my ancestral family from my wife's side, not my side. She's the Texan.
And we have brochures
That's
for
awesome.
children, so if you have children, I do have a couple of those with me.
and in case you're interested but not a female, there's also Sons of the American Revolution.
Something for everyone.
That's right.
All right, thank y'all so much.
All right, thank you so
So
much.
I'm going to read the proclamation, and we'll prepare it for you and bring it over or send it to you by singing.
All right.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to rule by law, and whereas September 17th, 2025 marks the 238th anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, And whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate it. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. I therefore, Laurie Boudreau, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Simonton in the state of Texas, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through 23rd, 2025 as Constitution Week. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Mom's gonna be our member since they have the We have
That's
accessory
what we need.
lot.
Yeah. All right, so let's go back to item 4, the consent agenda. We have 5 items in consent this week. Our 3 monthly financial reports for July, the second quarter financial statement, and the minutes for August 19th, 2025 regular city council meeting.
Madam President, okay. I was thinking Constitution, I guess. I'd like to remove item D for discussion.
All right, the second quarter financial.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do we have any other items to address? All right, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda with items A, B, C, and E?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Justin.
I'll second.
Thank you, Eric, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. All right, item 4D, the second quarter financial statement.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad Julie's not here for the discussion we had during the day.
So,
These,
before we get too far into it, just want to make sure that you've got the replacement page for the one that said draft on it. It was
okay,
on top
so
of
is
your,
this exactly the same as you gave me when I came in?
it had a correction in the total, or verification, but it's
I have to look at that real quick.
the draft removed. I know that you had a question about that. And the main follow-up for that is that the interest page was added after it was emailed to council, the
Oh.
second page.
Okay.
So what's your question,
Is
sir?
the first page for it, is it, looks to be exactly the same?
Yeah, what is your question?
Okay.
Are we happy to help?
So my question is, and actually it's not a question, it's an observation, is that when you look at the overall report, it's actually no problem with it whatsoever, except that it's out $1,407.29. How do I derive that? That would be the question.
Okay, say it again, it's out 14,
It's out, I consider it out of balance by $1,407.29.
and say more about where,
I will.
because I think I know the answer, but tell me where you're coming
I
from.
think you do know the answer. Okay, so where I'm coming from is I actually took it and I actually had time, Lori, to do this and,
You're talking about the summary columns under change?
No, ma'am.
Or,
no ma'am, I'll explain it, it's, here. It's explainable, but this also gives it a little bit more detail. And it's not a surprise, Andy, it's just an analysis. I did this for a couple of reasons, because we've been asking, you have it? So when you take, add up everything, don't look at my report yet, I'm just gonna say where the 1,400 probably is. The 1,400 is probably due to, money that comes in through the reception area and gets deposited. There's not a line item that says, you got sales tax, mixed beverage, CAD, ad valorem. The last one would be miscellaneous, right? Something that came in through a check and got deposited and it's in you first.
can you see, he's looking at the very bottom of the first page of the quarterly financial. At the bottom box, we have breakout by month for the items. Can you see in CAD 8 if they're, something's obvious to you?
Oh, if you're looking at, you're not looking at mine, are you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
where you
that's,
said the
sorry.
differences in
So
CAD
here's why you would be confused. What I did was I just took this cross-check. I'm sorry, let me just
which item? Kind of have to say it out loud
All
so
right.
people can know what you're talking about.
So what I did was I took the bottom part of the
Sales
spreadsheet,
tax.
in April, May, and June, added it up, which you had already done, and it's exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then I totaled it down. When I total it down, it comes up to 129, 149.08. If 129, 149.08 should equal every ICS that was money put in, and that equals 127, 741.79. The difference only being $1,407.29. I'm suspecting, and I put it on this left-hand side, that it's just unaccounted for because of manual check deposits, so things like that.
So you're not trying to balance this against this?
No,
You're just
not at
doing
all.
your math across and down?
Correct. I'm trying to cross-check everything. So that's it, it's just that one for now, and then I'll explain
Do
the
you
colors.
have, I don't know if I sent you the shared file link for this financial report? Okay, well, Eric, I appreciate that. Since I don't have the file up in front of me, I can't cross-check it right this second, but we can certainly take it under consideration for, to double-check that for the $1,400.
And actually, I mean, if you accept it, then we can still approve this with that understanding that 1,407 is not a very significant number, right? So if we consider it is probably obvious miscellaneous revenue, that I don't have a problem.
So what is your motion? Sounds like you're making a motion.
I'm about it, but not quite. I have to say, only other thing I need to say is that I colored this thing for a particular reason. We've had questions and questions about what's encumbered, what's available, what's in EDCA, what's in EDCB. And so all I did, and it may be wrong, is I color-coded everything that I consider to be city available, 2.5 million. And then I color-coded the purple, which is I consider to be encumbered. I'm looking at you first, right? So on you first, we call it money market, ARPA, keep Simonton beautiful, and capital improvement. That's the only ones I could visually look at and say, well,
I would say that Keep Simonton Beautiful is not, it's more like the EDC where it has its own line, and they don't have, that I'm recalling, they don't have an encumbered dollar amount for anything specific. So KSB, I would say, is the,
it would be at the bottom, go to the
is
bottom.
it just would be included in your pink.
Okay, good. And so,
And capital improvement, is that the same term we used? Which is talking about the same amount?
so what's in capital improvement? A whole bunch.
I'm just cross-checking yours against mine to make sure I'm looking at the right account for what your intention is. Yeah, it's the same line.
Right, it's the same
Since I
line.
haven't seen it before, just need a second. to look
Sorry,
at it.
no problem. That's why it's color coded to try to help us.
So I'm not saying it shouldn't be called, capital improvement shouldn't be called encumbered, but when we're using the term encumbered with budget and with the funds to date, I'm using that, or we're using that for projects that are voted on, specific, approved by the council. So if it's in capital improvement, it will go to something the council will improve, but I don't know that I would consider that encumbered today, because it doesn't have a project and a specific dollar amount tied to it.
So for some reason,
So-
we threw it into that category in the first. It says capital.
It does, yeah, it's
Okay,
capital.
so it's in the capital improvement investment pool. That's how I call it, all right? So it's in there. Now, how it gets distributed has to do with budget and projects and everything else. Basically,
Right,
all I
capital
said is,
approval.
for all intents and purposes, that's where you're going to encumber money from until you run out.
Generally, yes.
Okay, so that's why it's purple.
I'm great with purple, I just want to be sure that we're using the term consistently across all the methods.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So, yeah, you remember me asking before about why I can't look at a new first reports and stuff, I can't go back to reconcile it with most anything because it's just a CDR, who owns it and where's it going, so I made an attempt that says, okay, if this is encumbered, this is what you have to work with from encumbered money. If this is all city's money, then this is what we have free, that's the city's money, is 2.5 million. So people have been asking, how much money does the city really have that you can just go do city stuff with, move it around.
Right, so
Right.
EDCs are not.
No, EDCs are by
Right,
themselves.
so that money's gotta be removed.
No,
Removed, you know, the council doesn't say, we're
Okay.
gonna spend that on roads.
okay, so let me just say that a different way, Lori. This is a total financial report of all monies that are in You First and anywhere else. That's all this is intended to be.
That is right.
Okay, so a total financial picture. All I'm attempting to do is kind of break it down and say, who owns it? So EDCA owns, put my glasses on.
Right, I mean, they're indicated on the
Right, they're
left-hand
indicated.
side. EDCA has 4 accounts, EDCB has 4
Right.
accounts.
And there's 331,000 and 515,000 roughly in each, right? So the total monies does balance out and it does crossfit to everything that you have on the other report. The exception is when I added Tex Pool and Wallace Bank, right? Tex Pool and Wallace Bank is money that is ours, right? Then it comes up to being 17,410 difference when you add it all up. Now the difference is when you come down to change figure, it batches up. So your 29,000, if you took the 17,410 and the 11,690 from Wallace, you come back to your 29,000. So the whole thing is absolutely accurate to your report. All right, and so the only other thing is the 1407. That's why it showed up.
So I'm not looking at it, but
Okay.
I suspect that your 1407 is actually in Tex Pool because some of the months subsequent to June were entered in the master sheet and not removed from the total. So, like I think July is in there, and
So-
that's why if there's something that's off, we might find that exact dollar amount is right there, but I'll verify it.
Okay, so one of the ones up here you're saying could be wrong.
No, I'm saying you can't see that there are columns in here for July, August, and September. They're hidden because it's just noisy and we're not there yet for the report. And so I think that July income might be in the tally. It doesn't belong there yet. But like I'm saying, we need to
Okay.
verify that.
So, I mean, it's the same figure that would come up on yours if you just tried to cross-put the ICS deposits
Yeah.
into the total. It wouldn't.
It may not be relevant at all, but that's one thing. I've added additional information in to just make sure it didn't.
So I'd like to make a motion that we table this till the next meeting so that we can get the answers.
To your box at the bottom and make sure that's where the difference is.
And if anybody wants to consider the color pictures for any net worth or whatever, then they can talk about it.
So we haven't talked about the second page, which is the interest income. Interest earned for the first quarter was $24,039.70. The interest for second quarter, so April 1st through June 30th, 2025, is $26,443.89. Calendar year to date, that's $53,351.54. The notes out on the right-hand side is just indicating where something was, a Cedars was renewed, and when they renew, they get new account numbers. Makes it real fun for tracking, but that's why those notes are included in this note section. Do you have any questions about the interest?
Yes, ma'am. No, only a question on the title. It says January to March 25. It really should be January to June, should it not?
It should just say quarterly financial interest, since we've added them quarters all on the same page.
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion to table this report. Do we have a second?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That's unanimous. Okay. Moving on to new business, item 5B. Consider and take action to ratify the agreement with Civic Plus for archive social services. We have those minutes you already approved. So I think we've discussed at a previous, or mentioned at a previous meeting, but if we haven't, I'll tell you now. When Nancy Moore was here in the spring, she canceled our archive social service. I suspect, although I haven't spoken to her, that was an inadvertent cancellation because Civic Plus manages Archive Social, and they also managed or offered Granicus for us. The previous council discontinued funding for Granicus, so when the call was made to cancel that, I think this inadvertently got canceled. This service is what records and keeps records for us for all of our video for council meetings. And once you start having video, and you have required to keep that for records. So we discovered it when we had a record request for a meeting, and it was not there. So we took the action. I took the action to renew that contract so that the service could get restarted immediately. And so this comes to council, even though it was an ongoing service that we've been using, it comes to council for ratification.
So
The amount is, sorry, just one second.
Yep, no
For
problem.
this year, because we have to be reinitialized, it's $8,188. The second line on the first page where annual recurring services, it is included just so that it would be obvious that in the subsequent year, we would not pay that $1,000 that's added for initialization. So it would go down to $71.88 next year. This is not a 2-year agreement. It's included to be forward-looking.
I saw that.
Pass the proclamation, I think, right after.
Right, I passed it. Good saw.
No, you're close. Right there.
Yeah.
Were they able to maintain, they still had all of our previous records they were required to have?
They did not have the records from the cancellation time until the renewal.
But they did have the previous.
So is this a contract? And so, was Granicus ever canceled? Phil, you were working on it.
Yeah, so yes.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
officially gone.
Well, it was gone, it was just after the payment obligation hit. So the payment still had to go, but the contract is canceled.
Say that again? Payments are allowed to go, but the contract is.
Well, the payment was due, and then a couple months later, y'all canceled the contract.
Okay, so we never made another payment, and we're not going to make another payment.
Not for next year's
Yeah, it was-
obligation, because that contract is canceled, correct?
Okay. That was just a follow-up question there, but the current issue is whether or not authority to sign contracts, whether you have that.
So the issue is, I've already signed it so that we can have continuity of service. We can approve it and ratify it, and we move right on down the road with it. If you do not ratify it, then we break the contract and either pay it out or pay whatever the penalty is.
But isn't it already broken by virtue of not being renewed? You just said we have to
I've
start
renewed
it over.
it because we've been having meetings since we discovered this, and we need to retain those records. So the council will choose whether or not to ratify that agreement right now.
I just think the price is kind of high though, right? But it's all video storage, not only video?
It also includes our social media accounts,
Which
so
are-
Facebook,
Okay,
Instagram, so all of those.
so who
records
feeds,
are-
who feeds all of that? She
They're
has.
just automatic. It's automatic. You set it all up. Abby's already participated in that with Cheyenne to get those added back to the account so that it's an automated process. It doesn't require us to go in and do it, which also means we don't go in and lose or miss or skip.
And everything on our social media is also subject to PIR. That's why it's so important to have this.
Okay. Yes, it's a shame that we actually go out and think about it.
Any other questions from?
No, I'd like to make a motion if Eric wants to look on it for next year or something, but for continuity, we need to keep it going
I agree.
with all the requests and stuff, so I'd make a motion to ratify
Thank you.
this agreement with Civic Plus.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much. And we can definitely take a note to
Sure.
take that out for bid or look at other services for next year. All right, item C, consider and take action to approve removal of 2 additional trees at Simonton City Hall by Yellowstone. Landscape Tree Division for $5,245. I don't know if council has had the opportunity to go back and look at these 2 trees, but there are pictures included of what we're talking about. These are significantly overhanging the new building. They are trash trees, is what we always call them. We got a hackberry, a large one and a medium one. They're on the fence behind us. They're encroaching on our neighbor's fence, or in the back, right here. And when we had the trees on the west side removed, these weren't included in the bid, and they were too big to be added on that day. So taking them out before they cause damage, they're dropping some pretty big limbs.
So that was just an oversight on the first bid, or is it just?
Yeah, I didn't ask them to come and look at it. I thought that they were including that because they were coming to do a survey, but Road and Bridge was nice enough to come in advance, and they marked the trees that they thought were most urgent. So Yellowstone didn't vary from that, other than the trimming in the front.
Who owns
at
the
the
property?
driveway.
Who owns the property behind this?
Gary and CJ Aber.
Aber or Aber?
Aber,
Okay.
A-B-E-R. Not like you and me.
I know.
Well, I know the hackberries near Eric's house after that bad freeze we had. I've lost all of them.
All of them.
It's a matter of time. I should have just left them blocked in. One of them fell.
Yeah, he could have.
Yeah,
Bridge fence.
the hackberries right now, I don't trust them. I did, the ones on the fence row, I lost them.
I hate hackberries. I hate them.
It's the same that the ones where we had taken out that were already dead and falling on the neighbor's
So,
property,
over
on
there.
that side.
I'll
So
wait
the
for the
other-
motion, and then I have a question or two on the contract.
Okay, the other note about it is, we talked about when this bid came in to include the trees by your place.
Oh,
They're not included, but we didn't forget about it.
Andy, will it ever get done?
Hey, I did my part. It's not yours. Do we have that bid? Because I missed that meeting and I didn't know. Do we want, what's the extra portion for those trees in the right of
They weren't priced.
It hadn't been included.
way? Okay.
I was understanding they were going to include it with this. They didn't, but they will give that to us separately.
So we can add it, can we add it next week? We can always amend it.
Well, I have a fellow councilman who says you gotta get it while it's hanging low.
Yes, you do. Well, these are gonna be gone. So these aren't, the
There's
ones
no
you
problem.
bought right away want gone.
Right.
So that doesn't matter. Anything over the roads, I want to
Trim it.
Yeah.
trim, yeah.
Okay?
I make a motion that we accept the bid for $5,245.
Second.
Thank you, Andy. Any further discussion?
Yes. So there's 2 things on here that kind of bother me. One is where they have on there that there might be damage, and my question is, do they carry insurance?
Yes.
So if they damage the building, they will repair.
They're required by Fort Bend County, and so we're relying on our interlocal agreement. It's more than, ours is required $1 million, and I don't remember if what their number is, but they do it through the county.
So this comes under the interlocal with Fort Bend somehow?
And the procurement agreement, we're using their procurement agreement,
Yep.
which sets the standards for that.
So carry that insurance over. Okay. And then the other thing was, they have at the bottom, like, pay immediately. We don't pay immediately, do we? We pay within 30 days. Upon completion.
We pay upon completion.
You're saying we do pay upon completion?
Well, we're not intentionally holding anything,
No,
but I don't know.
it's just processing.
I had some pushback on them for terms
Huh?
last year.
Normally, it's paid in 30 days, so nothing goes over 30 days.
Right.
That's probably in the procurement too. Fort Bend County's not gonna pay right
I'm
off.
not gonna
I
hold
wouldn't think so either.
Yeah, no.
That's right.
Okay.
Receipt of invoice.
It says receipt of invoice. And then they can charge you interest. I just want to avoid any conversation on that.
I'll just say that we had to call them and ask for the invoice when they did the section 1. So
That's even better.
I think we'll be Good check. We'll make sure to monitor that. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. We are not holding an executive session today, so no need to adjourn. For reports, we've been together quite a bit recently, so reports are not, doesn't have a long list today. We will be meeting next week on Monday and on Tuesday. Monday for budget, we'll have a public hearing that day, and adoption. And on Tuesday will be a public hearing for tax rate and adopting that day. So it's unusual to have them, we only do that once a year generally. So just a reminder to everyone that we'll be meeting 2 days in a row next week.
May I speak to that?
And,
On the budget? Did you?
sure,
Okay. I was under the impression that we might have had one more budget meeting because there were questions left, and that's why I asked the secretary if she had taken any notes from our budget meeting, but she wasn't at the last one. But there's EDC questions on payback to the city. There was one section that we asked about, and that needed to be corrected. And so it'd be hard for me to just approve the budget if we don't have.
so the budget, the meeting that day will include time for final discussion for council before you have to make a decision.
Okay, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question on number 9? That was just on there.
Yes?
How many hours did you guys spend doing all these 13 information requests? I just want the public to understand how much time and money we're spending on all these PIA requests.
I
Just-
would say at least 45 to 50 hours.
So a whole week to get these done, which there's 10 days that we're supposed to get done, 10 business days, so you got 2 weeks, and just your time, a whole week. And people want to know why we don't get some things done? 13, going back to 2017, 2019. Seriously, folks, let's move forward. That's what I heard 90% of the people told me. Let's go forward. So that's my preach. There's my cane.
Thank you, sir. Phil, do you have any reports?
I do not.
Okay, great.
I do. Just get council.
City Center.
What's council last?
I got you. One
Okay.
second. Cheyenne, any reports, or Stacy from staff?
I think so.
EDCA?
We haven't had a meeting yet.
EDC's our meeting between now and the 23rd, 22nd, to update and amend their budgets that they've already submitted to make sure that they fit perfectly within the city budget. And city council reports? Sir?
I feel like a redheaded stepchild.
We got all the right time now.
Oh, okay. We do have a lot of time. Well, okay.
No, we don't. We got lives to live.
So what's your report?
What am I, dead? Adam, I have a couple of requests, and then, it's kind of a request, and then some questions. So, I would like to add, at the bottom of our agenda, just as Andy had so brilliantly added PIRs, and now we can see what's going on there, an unfinished business section. In 2017, Lou Boudreau had that, and what he used it for, but you were on the council, you know. So things that had to carry over to the next meeting would be documented there and then not forgotten.
Okay?
Thank
What
you.
else?
And then I want to request the Langford meeting to be brought back onto, I guess, October's.
I have said that I would bring that back. I need to get with them about the calendar and confirm when they're available.
So I'm just requesting that, let us know.
Okay, sorry, since you
And
already
then we
requested
also
me,
agreed, we also agreed I would sit with you and go over
Yeah.
IJKN. And then my next one is, has to do, I guess, with contracts, authority, et cetera. We had, and I don't think Andy was, I don't know, but we had asked for, impressed to bring back a quote. We have never seen it unless I don't have the minutes where it was brought back. So we've never seen it. And instead, what you did was you got a computer replaced. Now, the fact that it replaced is not what I'm concerned about. The fact that it went around the get the quote, which
Okay.
includes everything.
So it did not go around. Council approved that one computer and asked for a quote for the others that were recommended. So the computer that we purchased for the lobby is the only one that was approved. I didn't go around anybody, I just want to be clear about that.
Okay, so I
So
stand corrected?
The quote and the equipment offer suggestion for the rest of them, we just have not addressed because we've been in budget mode. So we do have an email from them with what they are recommending. I'm happy for you to review it.
Okay.
I just haven't put it on the agenda because it's not urgent and we're trying to get through budget.
I just don't remember, it was last meeting that we did the, Justin, did you make the motion to do the one and get a quote for the rest? I don't remember, it's a couple of meetings.
It was more than a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look back. Thank you.
You bet.
And, okay, so,
So I'm going to put that as review the quote for computer replacement, for laptop, or whatever we're calling the other office computers, right, Eric?
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Because honestly, I guess what I've learned since Lori is that what they're actually used for and what's on them and the interaction to mostly in the cloud, you don't need a very powerful one. You just need something that's going to be well connected to the network and work
Yep, I'll be
better.
happy to bring that to y'all.
Okay, so,
Okay.
I have a council request too. Can we add on to the agenda? I looked it up and Phil could tell me wrong. But I'd like to discuss with the council maybe charging for the PIA request. We can do that. And if it's over $40, we'd have to write a letter. It's going to cost more time. If it's under $40, we can start charging. It's time for, it's our taxpayer pocketbook they're into. So if it's a serious request and they really want it, I don't know. I want to discuss it. I'm not saying we have to, but I'd like to discuss it.
what would you think
We can bring that.
would be a nominal figure to start with?
It's set by statute.
Okay.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah, it's set what can be charged, and under certain thresholds, you cannot charge, and over certain, you can request for payment up front, and if the payment isn't received, then you don't have to respond to requests and things like that. So that's all set out, and when we set that on the agenda, I'll make sure our PIA expert from Olson Olson's available, at least to call in that way they can give all the details. I don't want to give bad law, so.
Great, thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
there's certain per hour accounts also.
July 15th. Eric, July 15th. Who's here? Who's the lobby
Oh,
committee?
who did that? You did that quick? Good for you. July 15th. Thank you.
All right. Our next regular city council meeting on the third Tuesday is October 21st at 6:30. We'll see everybody before then, since we're meeting twice next week, potentially the first week of October. Stay tuned for that. And we will adjourn.
What's the date? Sorry.
October 21st,
I could-
the third Tuesday. We'll adjourn at 7:12.